Hey guys, welcome back to Taste of Victory. I'm Tasty RC, and today we have Ryan with us, who placed 7th in the recent Top Cut official Bandai event with Shinegreymon. Ryan, would you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Hey, I'm Ryan. Either Ryan or neighbor, depending on what community you know me from. I spent a long time actually before hopping into Digimon doing Super Smash Brothers commentary for Smash 4 and now Ultimate.
Nice.
And now Digimon's a sick card game, so I'm playing that too.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I used to play Smash competitively for a while too, then Tekken, and now I'm at Digimon as well.
Yeah, it's just something about the competitive nature of people. Is card games, fighting games, whatever. As long as there's an opponent across from me, I'm probably having a good time.
True, that's a very good point. So you topped the recent Bandai event with Shine Greymon, and this was in 7th place. So we got your
Yes.
deck pulled up. Do you want to go ahead and go through your thought process of which cards you use, the ratios and stuff like that?
Yeah, so going into this event, being 256 people, I thought I could tech out for certain matchups I expect to see, but it's so early in the format, I really don't know what is going into it. So I decided to play in my opinion, like the safest possible shine list, which is kind of boring, but at the same time, I think my idea of the safest possible shine list is different than a lot of other people's.
Okay.
And I'll get into it as we go. I mean, the level threes will immediately see it. So, but starting with the babies, four Upamon. I played one Yaramon. Your fifth really doesn't matter other than the fact that it's there.
Yeah.
I thought statistically, I'm more likely to have Nyaramon matter than the one of Cupimon. But the one of Cupimon is way more impactful if you do happen to have it be your first egg. So that's probably honestly the better play.
Okay.
But Nyaramon's cute, so
That's all that matters. Yeah.
yeah. It's most of the time your fifth Digi egg is just a mascot anyway. So I
Yeah.
think Cupimon's probably better, and I had access to it. I've tried it out a little bit. It's fine, but most of the time that fifth egg doesn't change how your games go.
Okay.
But the rookies, I will start off before sounding off what the rookies are. I was saying I'm playing 14 rookies. Most shine lists I've seen have played at the high end 12, but that's like really high apparently. And most everyone I've seen is running 11 rookies,
Wow. Okay.
which I totally get it. There's no room in this deck for anything because you have to run so many tamers.
Yeah.
But I think the rookies are really important because it lets you draw early on. And if you don't draw into your shines fast enough, you just lose. Three Labramon, I didn't really want to see four because, and I think realistically I should play two in favor of more
Yeah.
Lopmon. But this card, once you play a Shine Greymon, does let you dig a little bit deeper for the second one. Because normally one Shine Greymon does not win you the game. But the second one that you play is super duper unfair because you've already set up and gone through the effort of putting out all the tamers. Now they're here, so you just blow stuff up.
Yeah. Especially in the
so
mirror,
getting-
how crucial the grind game is.
Oh my gosh, yes. That you don't even.
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mirror is a mess and it is a grind. But the Labramon definitely does help. I have experimented with Agumon instead.
Okay.
It's kind of the same problem though if you need three tamers. So if I'm already got that kind of board set up, I've probably got some way to shine. So
Yeah. Kind
I
of.
think this is probably better. For Patamon, when you delete once per turn for this one, when you delete a Digimon by bringing its DP to 0, you gain a memory. So this is really clutch because it lets you play Shine down a 4-cost, mega.
Yeah.
As long as you have your memory tamer on board, you'll play Shine, delete something, as long as something's not gone horribly wrong, and gain a memory, so it'll still be your turn. It also is just really good because Patamon, having that inheritable also kind of acts as an extra tamer if you play Glorious Burst, because it's Glorious Burst drops something to 0 with DP, so you play that for one less. In general, just having any kind of memory manipulation is phenomenal.
Yeah. Definitely.
Lopmon, I really think I should run 3 Lopmon, 2 Labramon. And
Yeah,
after
that's what I
messing
was
around, I
thinking.
think that's the play. Lopmon, the only reason I wouldn't run 4, and I've thought about it before, is because late game it doesn't do a whole lot. But early game, and even mid game, this card is so much drop potential. You play it down on play, you get to look at the top card of your security, and then you pick, do I want to take it or not? If you take that card from your security, you get to draw a card, so that's 2 more cards added to your hand at the cost of 1 security. But also this lets you play around people playing around your Kari. So
True.
as a yellow player, a lot of people will swing at you once and then just not swing again until they have game.
Yeah.
Lopmon makes it unsafe for them to swing even once because you can manipulate your own memory or your own security, go down to 3. Then you'll have Kari to manipulate your memory and Upamons to give you draws and get your shines. So it's spooky. And then if they don't ever swing and you play 2 Lopmons, then they've never swung and you have a whole bunch of extra cards. So
Yeah, crazy hand.
yeah, Lopmon is really, really, really good. Probably the second best rookie in the deck.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, Salamon, I played at 3. I've seen other people only play 2. Either way is fine, honestly, but I thought that having 3 of them was good for just additional recovery, and it definitely came up. But also, being a 4 cost isn't even that bad, because if you run into matchups where you have a memory tamer and the other person doesn't, a lot of the time this deck doesn't actually have good ways to choke. You only play the 4 Cheruimon, nothing else costs 1, and almost everything else costs 3. There's a couple 2-drops here and there, but there's not a lot of them. So a lot of the time you're giving people 2 or 3 memory when you have your tamer, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having all that extra memory. But if your board's in like a decent spot, you can drop Salamon for 4, give them 1, and then have the ability to swing for free, and on deletion it recovers 1 as long as you have 3 less security. So it gives you extra security as far as like my board state is fine now.
Yeah.
I've had it get popped by Volcanic Dramon, and it was a-okay because I just got free security.
Yeah, thanks for the free security.
Yeah. Tsukaimon. So this is where if you guys really want to not play with 14 rookies and you want to do 12, I traded 2 of the 2-cost security TK for 2 Tsukaimon. So no matter what, I had a 2-cost thing, so I'd still be able to choke if that was the reason that I was playing the thing. Never in all of my 8 rounds and in any of my locals after that did I have a Tsukaimon in hand and say, man, I wish this was a tamer. It gives you more 2-drops so that you actually have ways to like drop Tsukaimon and then maybe Digivolve for 2 with, I mean, you don't have a lot, but like Digivolve into Unimon for 2, and then you have your blocker on the field and they're choked at 1.
Yeah.
Speaking of Unimon, it's a blocker. You need to run 4 of it because the deck takes some time to set up. I really think once the set 4 comes out and we have like the 1-cost Digivolve blocker, we're going to play 7 blockers, or at least I am, at least in this deck.
Yeah, I can see that.
Blockers are just too good. Unimon is nice because he's a blocker. 2-cost evolution, whatever, it's fine. Cheruimon is the best level 4 and potentially the just best card ever. I always love seeing this in my hand. Digivolve for 1 enables so many plays. It means if you have TK and Akari and you're below 3 security, all you need is a rookie and you're raising, and then you can ramp into Shine next turn.
Yeah.
Which is
it's crazy.
It also means it's really easy to set up for having a level 4 in your raising and be ready to, if you just have a TK, go into like Rise and then Shine next turn. So Cheruimon's awesome. 6K is pretty decent if you want to swing over stuff to activate Upamon draws. The 3 Repamon was initially just super safe. So it's 11 total level 4s. I don't think you have a lot of room to go up to 12, but you don't really need a whole lot more. My main problem with these was always just I didn't have Cheruimon at the right time every single time because I wanted 1-cost Digivolutions. Yeah. But you'll have a level 4 when you kind of need it most of the time. But Repamon's just 3 cost to drop, 2 to Digivolve. You could play some of like the 4 cost to drop 2 to Digivolve ones with good effects like Gatomon or Shinegreymon. I just didn't.
Okay. Sounds cool.
But definitely good to look into, depending on... Those are like medical cards, and this was just like really safe.
Okay.
Level 5s, I see common ratios being 9. I kind of cut some room here, so I'm only playing 8. My thoughts are, if there's only 4 megas that I ever want to digivolve into, like 4 cards in my deck I want to digivolve into off of the 5, it's kind of okay to only have 8.
Yeah, I could
specifically
agree with
because the deck has so much search power in
True.
TK that I can just filter through my security, grab something that I need. The draw power is not the best in the world. It's not blue, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It gets you there. And 4 Rise Greymon is mandatory. This card is busted, and the reason that the deck is able to be played. And also the reason that I am comfortable not playing as many of the 2-cost TK Tamers. So I'm playing only 9 Tamers in this list, I think. Yeah, only 9 Tamers in this list. I've bumped it up after this to 10 because I think that Kari is just broken.
Yeah, she's
so
crazy.
I want to play forward.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, like, I've talked to other people about it, and they think I'm crazy for not playing more of the 2-cost TK Tamer, but almost never was I in a situation where I was like, okay, if I could just play this Tamer for 2 and then play my Rise or Shinegreymon, then I'd be okay. Almost always I'm playing my Tamers either for free or like pseudo free. So I'm either playing it off of Rise Greymon for free, or I am playing it to choke, or I am playing it because I have put you to 0, like I've set it to 0, playing a 3-drop off my TK, and then you have a memory tamer, so I may as well just drop my tamer and advance my board.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter whether it was a 2 or a 3-drop. So most of the time, the cost doesn't come up. So I thought the most important thing was the good tamers, and TK is not... The TK with security DPs is not one of them, I think.
I can see that.
But yeah, Shine Greymon is nuts. Sirenmon, 5 to drop, 2 Digivolve, 6k vanilla. I played it over the Bunny and Telemon because it was 5 to play instead of like 7 or 8 to play.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it matters, honestly, because I don't think I ever hard dropped this one maybe once in the tournament.
Okay.
And Digivolving for 2, still the same cost, is good. Going into Telemon and being able to safely swing over blockers where Sirenmon can't and get like Upamon draws could be nice. So maybe depending on what you're seeing in your meta, or how comfortable you are with the hard drops, you could swap the Sirenmon for Antilamon. I don't think there's a correct answer.
I think
I'm
it's a
still
meta
messing
call,
around with this.
for sure.
But you definitely want at least 2 of your vanillas because the 2-drop is... You have to play Rise Greymon. There's so many other really good level 5s that are 3 Digivolve, but having the option to go to your level 5 for 2 really gives the deck a little bit more play.
Yeah, it's crucial momentum for sure.
And 2 Angelomon, if you're on Digivolve, if your security is 3 or less, you recover 1. This is kind of the flex slot. I think Angelomon is like the safest pick because it lets you live forever.
Yeah.
I've definitely had games where people have ran through like 9 of my security and still not won.
It's crazy.
But this card's really good. You could argue for the other Angelomon, it's -2 security attack on Digivolve. You could argue for your Shikuamon. Shikuamon's insane in the Rookie Rush matchup. I feel like that's like a meta call card that I didn't really feel comfortable picking because Angelomon is just generically good.
True.
But I mean, you have a lot of play with this particular slot. I think, personally, I wouldn't do anything other than 4 Rise Greymon, 2 Vanillas, and then 2 Flex slot. But maybe that'll change later.
Okay.
And then the Megas, you play 4 Shine Greymon because that's the reason you're playing the deck. This card is...
Yeah.
The first time that you play your Shine after you set up 2 or 3 Tamers is just like, hey, this is a good card. The second Shine is absolutely unfair. and it can only get more unfair from there.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like any other way to put it than like the first one kind of feels earned because you've been able to put in all of the tamers and you got there.
Yeah.
But because you're already set up for everything by the time you drop the second one, it just feels disgusting.
Yeah, it feels like you're bullying them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm bullying every time I play this deck. Is when you're winning, people look at you and they're like, I don't think there's anything I can do to win. But if you as a Shine player are impatient and just start swinging and you don't super slow roll, you invite yourself to lose to security and throw your board away and let people get back into the game. So you kind of have to play like a bully. Got me where I got. So it worked.
It works.
But 2 Shine, or 2 a Slash Angemon as well, because you don't always see the Shine, and sometimes you do need a Mega. And Slash is still a busted card. It's just not as unfair as Shinegreymon. But still a really good card. With Patamon on the field, you can Digivolve for 2, so that's cute. Might be able to get some draws off of Labramon to get you to the Shine that you need. Slash is just good. If you have a problem level 5, you don't want them to go into level 6, he's there for you. For the Tamers, 4 of the Memory TK, because this is the only Tamer in the format outside of maybe Mimi that you can play twice in a game and feel good about it. Because searching your security, especially with how much gets recovered in this deck, you're constantly looking at new resources. And being able to just add a card and filter that is great. You always want to see this as soon as you can. If you start the first turn without a TK, it feels really, really bad.
Okay.
But eventually, if you get it within the first 2 or 3 turns, you can start rolling really, really quickly. But the deck kind of requires the 3 memory threshold to function well.
Yeah.
If you don't ever see your TKs and people are choking you, this deck is so bad because you can't play your Tamers and effectively continue to press on with the board state.
Yeah, it becomes rough.
3 Kari. I really think it should be 4 Kari. A lot of people are only playing 3 because people can play around it or something.
Yeah.
And they totally can. People can absolutely play around Kari and just not put you down to 3 memory. If you have 3 or less security at the start of your turn, Kari gives you an extra memory. That it's huge in this deck to start with 4 or 5 memory. And sometimes the other person just has to swing. If they never swing ever, they let you build up a board to Shine with no opposition. And if they only swing a little bit, Lopmon can turn on Kari. There's no right answer against this deck, whether you should swing or not. But maxing out on Karis is, I think, better because that means there's more chance that they flip it up in security on that check that would put you down to 3, or more chances that you drop it with Rise. You don't need 4 Karis on the board to win, but being able to see it more often is better. But I only played 3 for this tournament.
Cool.
Only 2 of the 2 cost security TK. It gives your security Digimon plus 2000 DP against Rookie Rush with their Vmon. It doesn't matter. Against Ulforce, it won't matter. Against Imperial Dramon, it won't matter. There's so many jamming cards in the format, or just generally cards with bigger DP values than you. Like Red is swinging for a lot bigger than you. So much that a lot of the time the TK doesn't matter.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Like the plus 2k DP barely comes up, especially because in most of these yellow builds with Shine, you don't see like Eden's Javelin. You don't see anything that activates to punish something other than the thing that is directly swinging.
Yeah.
So if somebody sets up game with the right amount of swings, it doesn't matter if one of them dies, because most of the time they wait until they have game on board to swing, if they're playing well and playing around like Yukaris and everything else. So if they eventually run into something that's bigger in security because of TK and it dies, it shouldn't matter. Or they were already put in a really bad position and they had to swing early, so it, again, shouldn't matter. This card is kind of only good because it's 2 to play.
Yeah.
And then 2 Glorious Burst is absolutely unfair to have potentially a Gaia Force for 3.
That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, this card normally 9 cost, but -1 for every tamer that you have on the board. So, and then it's minus 12,000 DP to 1 Digimon. This is one way to get to your Shinegreymon if you don't have them early. If you have like Labramon inheritables on the field, you can minus something's DP. You'll activate the Labramon, still get some draws.
Yeah.
If you have
synergy.
Patamon's inheritables, you'll play it for less.
Cool.
So usually you're not. Most of the time, the most common situations I'm dropping this card, I'm playing it for 5, which still might be a little expensive, but that is like Gaia Force for 5.
So I know you brought up Eden's Javelin. I've seen a lot of other lists that also run it. How do you feel about that card versus Glorious Burst?
I think I would never run it over Glorious Burst, but if I somehow found room in the deck, I might consider it. My biggest problem with Eden's Javelin is the games that I'm losing with Shine are because I never saw the first one. Most of the time. So my main goal is to get to the first one and then get to the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
If I don't ever have the first one, then my hands are really small. I haven't been able to draw anything. I'm maybe playing a tamer and losing hand advantage. And Eden Javelin is only as good as your hand is big.
Yeah.
After you drop a Shinegreymon, your hand's going to get bigger. And you can play less stuff on your turn and let yourself accrue some hand size. But early game, I feel like Eden's Javelin is so inconsistent and bad. It's good to have something that actually matters when it's checked in security against like jammers or, anything.
Yeah.
So I would definitely consider it, but I can't find space for it, and it feels really bad when I have like a hand of 4. I know the Glorious Burst has my back, but Eden's Javelin does not against the Sarismon. So
yeah, okay, that is some interesting insight. Thank you for that. I definitely see how that comes up.
Yeah, it's definitely with somebody playing around and testing with, but in my experience, it's scary to commit to something like that. It feels inconsistent.
Yeah,
but
I can definitely see that. Cool. So you this list here ended up putting you at 7th place in the tournament. Do you remember your matchups along the way each round? You want to go over those?
I know round 1, I played against Purple Yellow, which is one of my favorite decks, although a little bit less powerful than Shine.
Yeah.
So they used a purple base with the yellow hard play stuff.
Yeah.
Gatomons that get some minus DP stuff, and you turn on your Vengeance on Wizardmon. Decent deck, but it's definitely not a powerhouse deck. I was just kind of able to build Shine and not let them play very well.
Cool.
So that was pretty quick. Round 2, I ran into Shinegreymon mirrors, which are slow and painful. So
yeah, I bet. Gosh.
In this game, I think round 2 was the round where it was either round 2 or round 3. I played against a Shinegreymon mirror. I won game 1, and it took I think it was round 2. It took so incredibly long that round 2 or game 2, time was called, and I had 4 security and the opponent had 5 security.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And in case anyone doesn't know how time rules work, I'm pretty sure it's consistent, but I know specifically at this event, security doesn't matter. It's just at the end of time, if nobody is clearly the victor, then it's a draw. But because I won game 1, I won the set. Because that technically gives both of us a win, and that made me win 2-1, if that's how math works.
Okay.
But if you win game 1 and then you draw because of time, you win the set. So
cool.
That
sounds exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah, long. And then round 3, I played a Imperial Dramon deck, which theoretically could be a harder matchup for this deck. Because they just rush really quickly.
Yeah.
But I think they have to play really smart about how they rush really quickly. Because if they just start swinging at security early, you can absolutely catch up because you have a lot of ways to recover, and being at below 3 or at 3 security enables a lot of your deck to be super powerful and come back super hard. So in both of the games that I played against them, they kind of just rushed security and tried to be faster than me. But having Akari get flipped up here or there, and having Salamons to heal back and Angelwomons to heal back so that I wasn't actually on the timers that they thought I might have been. In addition to, having Unimons out there, which are always quite nice against rushing decks, just meant that I was able to play the comeback game and not be uncomfortable with them swinging actively. So that was 2-0.
Cool.
I definitely think Imperial Dramon could be hard, but you have to really not give me Karis. Round 4 was the Shinegreymon mirror again. That one, I did win 2-0. I think I was talking to the opponent about how I had just finished another Shinegreymon mirror that had lasted forever, and then that one was just like, I drew the shines and they didn't. Sometimes that's how it is.
Yeah, I can see that, unfortunately.
Round 5, I played a Rookie Rush player who told me they were also thinking about playing Shine in this tournament, but they were worried about the Rookie Rush matchup. And I was like, cool. I'm glad that I'm going into this matchup now. But I managed to make it through again similarly, where they would just kind of swing into my stuff, give me free memory off of Karis, and I was kind of able to play Shines and drop their stuff.
Nice.
I think game 2, they kind of bricked on rookies, so I got pretty lucky. They didn't draw a rookie, I think, like on turn 2 or 3.
Wow.
And
in Rookie Rush, that's rough.
behind. Yeah. Like they had a hard play Gorillamon.
That's
I was like, Round 6, I played another Shinegreymon mirror. Because that's I'm just a magnet for Shinegreymon players.
It's so exhausting.
This one, I won game 1, and I thought I might go into another situation because game 1 took so long that I would just
play for time.
Potentially, play for time. And I was keeping track of the timer.
Yeah.
I was like, there is a solid chance that we do this.
Yeah.
But my opponent. So there was a point in game 2 where my opponent said, I almost want to just scoop because your board is too good. Because I had like 2 rises on the board and like 4 tamers, and they had like 1 or 2 tamers and a level 4 at most, and they were like really behind.
Oh, dang, yeah.
Because I don't think they had a TK, and I had a TK, so I was playing a lot more cards than them per turn.
Oh, okay.
But I never drew my Shinegreymon, so I couldn't oppress the board. So it looked really scary, and it kind of looked like if they played something too early, I would just respond with Shine.
Yeah.
But at some point, they were like, all right, screw it, I have to do something. So they started swinging.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the Shine, so they got it. Because I wasn't able to slow down the pressure fast enough to have time. In all of those games, though, I will note there were multiple times where I was playing against another Shine player, and they didn't draw a rookie.
Okay.
Probably because they're playing 11 rookies. So playing a bigger count of those means you brick less, you see your shines first, and you probably win the mirror match a little bit more.
I would say so, yeah. That first draw is so crucial to the momentum in this game, I feel.
Other thoughts? A lot of people I see are playing... a lot of people may have just seen my rookie lineup and thought, he's not playing the on-play Patamon, what the heck is going on? So there's a Patamon that's 3-drop, on play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, add any of the tamers that you find there to your hand, which I guess is theoretically a way to pump your hand up for even Javelin, and you get all your tamers that you find there. But you put the rest of the cards on the bottom of the deck. I think this card is like low-key trash. You can add the tamers to your hand, but most of the time I don't want more than 1 or 2 in my hand to play with Rise. And then after that, they're like bricks. And I kind of just want them to sit in security and have somebody flip them over for me.
Yeah, true.
Or if I draw them later, I can play them and it's fine. But I don't want a hand full of them. And even if they're free off of Patamon, that's fine or whatever. But your combo pieces are so important. I saw multiple times where other people were playing that Patamon. They would play Patamon, flip over 0 Tamers, and put a Shine
Shine at the
Greymon or
bottom.
like 2
Oof.
level 5s to the bottom of their deck.
Yeah, it feels terrible.
Yeah.
Nice.
Round 7, I played against the champion, Hong Zero.
Oh, nice.
He
Another Rookie Rush.
he played the Rookie Rush, as most people will know, and it was quick. I think that was the only set. Those 2 games, it was 2-0. I lost. Those 2 games are the only games that I lost, and I felt like nothing in my hand was missing. Because there are like game losses that I had, like the game loss that set me to the tie, where I felt like I just didn't draw my shine, and if I drew it, my board was set up, I would have been great. Against him, I just didn't have enough to play fast enough. I guess I wasn't lucky in my security, but if I'm banking on security luck, then that's something else. That was a matchup where maybe the Shikuamon would have been helpful. Maybe Lightning Paw if you can find room for that, but I don't know how people find room for Lightning Paw. It's a really good card. I just don't have room for it.
It's pretty crazy, yeah. The space is just too tight.
And then round 8, my opponent flipped over an Upamon hatching, and I thought, I cannot believe in my round 8 to play to win. If I win this, I get top 8. I'm about to play my 4th Shine Mirror.
Oh, gosh.
As it turns out, it was not a Shine Mirror.
Oh, thank goodness.
They flipped that over, and then they hard played a high-end Pokemon.
Whoa, Mega Zoo in top 8?
It was Ragnalord Mega Zoo.
Interesting.
So it was the coolest thing I ever saw. He was playing the yellow level 5s for Upamon draw for Salamon recovery. Because recovery in a deck like that, all of your security is nasty.
Yeah, it's a threat.
And then he was playing the promo Patamon that if your security is at 1 or less, it recovers 1. So just getting a little bit extra draws off of the yellow end and some security recovery on top of just hard playing the level 6s and going into your Ragnalords. It was scary.
Yeah.
He gives you 10 memory, but you only have 4 shines to play in a game, and you have to reach all of them almost every turn. Like, he would play a high Andromon, and I'd be like, okay, Glorious Burst, and I play like a Rookie Go.
Yeah.
Or I play a Tamer, so I have 3 Go. And then he's like, okay, here's Phoenixmon. I'm like, okay, now I have to ramp all the way up to a shine, make sure that I have it, and sure I have 10 memory, but like I gotta find everything and find another Tamer to drop and rise for the other Tamer, and then I can shine it. And I'm blessed. I drew the shines when I needed them, but it was stressful because if you miss once, then he just goes into Ragnalord for free and swings for like 3, and then do you have the tempo to keep up? Because Ragnalord is 14, so it takes 4 Tamers, and
yeah, that's huge.
it was hard.
That's terrifying.
It was really stressful games, especially because in security, you have to worry about not only Ragnalord, but he was playing Omnimon, Alter S, and Gaia Forces. There was one point, a play that won me game 2. I was sitting there with Shinegreymon and 4 Tamers, so he was swinging. He would have been swinging for 1,500 or 15,000. But I had a little bit extra memory, and I was like, if I swing right now and I die and it goes to your turn, then I am going to lose this game. So I had enough memory to play down another Tamer to put me up to 16,000 on swing.
Yeah.
And I was swinging with Rise Greymon, so it was 2 security checks. And that Shine Greymon checked over 2 different Omnimons.
Oh, that's insane. Oof.
So if I didn't put down that extra Tamer, he would have died to the first Omnimon check, and I would have been stuck.
Yeah.
But that's this deck has everything. It has big DP on swings. It has board clears. The only thing I'm ever worried about is options, and sometimes they don't matter. So that's kind of how that went. I was kind of geeking out about the deck I was playing against. I was like, if I lose to this, after he flipped over the Upamon at first, I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
And then he played the Iandromon. I was like, okay, if I lose to this and I don't get top 8, then whatever. Because like Blue Yellow Kaisernail was my favorite deck in 1.0.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure out how to make it work with all of the good stuff that's like.
What would you say was the matchup you were most worried about, and like, did it end up being as scary as you thought it'd be once you saw it in tournament?
I was most worried about Green, and it never came up. I mean, I wasn't worried about any Randy Green players, but I was worried about like going around 5, 6, 7. If I run into a Green player, they got to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of it. Rookie Rush was scary. I didn't see as much of it as I thought I would, but I only lost to the champion playing Rookie Rush. So.
Yeah, at least that feels good. I lost the undefeated person.
Yeah, and when he played, I was like, dang, yeah, this matchup does feel bad, but it clearly wasn't just the matchup. Like, he's a good player.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, most of the other matchups, I feel like Shinegreymon is just broken. It's one of the best decks in the format. It's legit, like, totally. Every really good deck in this format has something that's unfair. Sarismon, I think, is unfair. Being able to build your board while you rest other stuff and attack over it.
Super
like,
unfair.
Resting other people to Digivolve for free?
That's crazy, yeah.
That's crazy unfair.
Crazy.
Shinegreymon, especially if you drop the second one, to just blow up one or more megas. Super unfair.
Yeah, definitely.
Alter S is really, really good. I think Red is the least unfair.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Of them. I think it's just like really, really good, but not, man, I want to quit the game. This is unfair kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Rookie Rush, I don't think is unfair either. They don't do anything that's like, wow, there's no counterplay. It's just like, ooh, this kind of sucks. Most of the other Rookie Rush players I ran into, they didn't. It's probably a deck building thing at this point, but they didn't run into as many of their 5K drops as I saw against Hong Zero. And he was a lot smarter about ramping into his Gorillamons or Vegemons over Mushroommons, just so that I had to waste 2 pops on like a rookie or something really basic.
That's huge.
Overall, pretty decent event. I can't say it went well. I wish I played less Shine Mirrors, but I think my deck was geared pretty well for it.
Definitely. Okay, yeah. Well, thanks for your time. That was really insightful, like super interesting. Definitely agree with a lot of what you said. It's surprising like how taxing the Shine Mirror is and like how much you saw of it. I guess it makes sense. It was a really hyped up deck.
It's a good deck.
Definitely, yeah. And we definitely can tell now after the tournament. So thank you so much, Ryan, for your time. That was really insightful. We took up a lot of it here, so I hope that wasn't too much of a problem for you. Really appreciate you coming onto the channel. If you got anything like a weeklies that you guys commentate you want to plug or anything, feel free to now. Totally let them know. Yeah,
so right now, nothing that I do for Smash at the moment with no tournaments yet, but normally, whenever events are running and maybe when they pick back up, I do professional commentary for Tourney Locator.
Oh, cool.
So you can follow them on Twitter at Tourney Locator or their YouTube channel and run through old VODs of me doing Smash commentary, or you can follow me on Twitter at the Ryan Neighbor and see me post about Digimon once a month maybe because none of my other friends play Digimon except for my one practice partner, so I just talk to him about it.
Nice.
And then occasionally talk about Smash stuff, but if you ever wanted to find me, that's where I'm at.
Nice. That's cool. Definitely make sure to check him out, guys. Great player. Great time having you on the channel. Thanks again for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fun time.